In a tragedy that has stunned the world and turned up the heat in the presidential election here at home, the U.S. ambassador to Libya, Chris Stevens, and 3 of his staff were killed overnight. The riots preceded the deaths, first in Cairo, then in Benghazi, Libya's second largest city. The U.S. compound in Benghazi was attacked by Islamic radicals. The killings were condemned by President Obama. Republican presidential candidate Mitt Romney blamed the president for a statement by the U.S. Embassy in Cairo before the murders in Libya, criticizing an anti-Muslim movie.
An apology for America's values is never the right course. We express immediately when we feel that the President and his administration have done something which is inconsistent with the principles of America.
The United States condemns in the strongest terms this outrageous and shocking attack. We reject all efforts to denigrate the religious beliefs of others. But there is absolutely no justification to this type of senseless violence.
The tragedy becomes a test of foreign policy, which is 7 weeks until Election Day. The FBI is involved in the investigation of the deaths of the American diplomats.
And it is being described as a well-planned and orchestrated attack. The killers of U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens and 3 other Americans were well armed and seemed to know the layout of the U.S. consulate in Benghazi. As 9 News reporter Dave DeLosier tells us, experts in Middle Eastern affairs point to the fingerprints of a terror group.
They're definitely targeted.
The U.S. consulate in Benghazi, Libya, was the target of protesters angered by a film that ridiculed the Prophet Muhammad.
It's definitely possible that the demonstration was a facade, that it happened to divert the attention of the security.
Professor Shao Gubai is an expert on the Middle East. He believes the attack on the U.S. consulate and the killing of U.S. Ambassador Christopher Stevens was a highly organized terror attack.
There is no question that those who actually executed this operation were very well organized. It's not just hoodlums who happen to be upset about the YouTube video. This has been very organized to be able to target ambassador, to be able to find what is the route of escape.
How many protests do you see where they're carrying RPGs? You don't see that. So this was something different.
While no organization has yet claimed responsibility for the attack, the timing of it is getting attention.
You know, people are asking about the Al-Qaeda link, especially because of the date in which it happened, the 11th anniversary of 9/11, and whether or not it was in retaliation for our drone strikes in June that took out their leadership.
Getting to the bottom of who is responsible for this may be difficult. The Libyan government is in its infancy following the ousting of Muammar Gaddafi. In a country barely removed from anarchy, it may fall to the U.S. for a response.
Definitely something that we need to address strongly in words and also in actions.
This is Dave DeLosier, 9 News.
And in an effort to ease anger over the anti-Muslim movie posted online, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff has asked a Florida preacher to end his support for the film. Terry Jones is the same preacher who in 2010 called for the burning of the Quran.